In a small village by the sea, lived a brave warrior named Kai. He was strong, fast, and never afraid of anything, except the deep ocean. People said magical things lived under the waves, and Kai didn't want to find out if that was true. One sunny morning, Kai went fishing near the rocks. He threw his net into the water and waited, but when he pulled it up he gasped. It wasn't full of fish, it was wrapped around something, or someone. A girl with shimmering blue hair and sparkling green eyes stared up at him. She had a tail instead of legs. Her scales glittered like diamonds in the sunlight. Kai froze. "You're a mermaid," he whispered. The mermaid coughed and nodded. "My name is Mira," she said softly. "Please help me. I'm stuck." Kai quickly untangled her from the net and helped her sit on a rock. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I was chasing a shiny seashell and swam too close to the surface," Mira explained. "Your net caught me." Kai didn't know what to say. He had heard stories about mermaids. Some said they were dangerous, others said they were kind. But Mira didn't look dangerous at all. Suddenly they heard footsteps. Villagers were coming. "Hide," Kai whispered. He helped Mira slip behind a big rock just before the villagers arrived. "What was that?" one man asked. "We thought we saw something shiny in the water." Kai scratched his head. Just a fish. A really big fish." The villagers shrugged and walked away. Kai turned back to Mira. "You need to go home before someone sees you," he said. But Mira looked scared. "I can't. Something is wrong in the ocean. A dark shadow is spreading. Sea creatures are disappearing. I came to warn your village." Kai's eyes widened. "What kind of shadow?" Mira shook her head. "I don't know yet. But if we don't stop it, both our worlds could be in danger." And just as Kai opened his mouth to speak, a loud roar echoed from the cliffs nearby. The sky darkened. Birds flew away screaming. The sea began to churn like it was angry. Mira looked up at him. "It's starting." Kai's heart pounded. He had fought wild animals and bandits before, but this was something else. The sky wasn't just cloudy. It looked like a giant shadow was crawling over it. The waves smashed harder against the rocks, spraying cold water into the air. "What do you mean it's starting?" he asked Mira. She slid off the rock and into the shallow water, her tail flicking nervously. "The sea curse," she whispered. "It's an ancient evil that was locked deep below the ocean a long time ago. But now something woke it up." Kai stared at her. "Can't your people stop it?" Mira shook her head. "Many merfolk have already disappeared. The curse is growing stronger every day. That's why I came here. There's a legend that says a warrior from land and a mermaid from sea must join together to stop it." Kai raised an eyebrow. "Wait, me? I'm just a fisherman with a sword." Mira gave a small smile. "You're more than that. You helped me when you could have turned me in. That means you're brave and kind." Before Kai could reply, the sea suddenly grew quiet, too quiet. Then, without warning, the water near the shore began to bubble. A dark shape rose from the waves. It had glowing red eyes, long arms like seaweed, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Mira's face turned pale. "A shadow lurker," she said. "It's one of the cursed creatures." Kai stepped in front of her, drawing his sword. Then it picked the wrong beach to visit. The shadow lurker screeched and lunged toward them. Kai swung his sword. But the creature moved like smoke, slippery and fast. It knocked him down with one swipe of its long arm. Mira threw a ball of glowing blue light from her hands. The creature screamed and slithered back into the sea, its body hissing as if burned. Kai sat up groaning. "Okay, I definitely can't fight that thing alone." Mira helped him to his feet. "That's why we need each other. My magic, your courage. Together, maybe we have a chance." Kai looked out at the dark sea, then at Mira. "All right," he said. "Let's save both our worlds." Suddenly, a loud horn echoed from the village. People were shouting. A thick fog rolled in from the ocean, curling through the trees like fingers. Mira's eyes widened. "The fog, it's not normal. It's part of the curse." Kai grabbed his sword tighter. "Then let's move. The village is in danger." And just as they started running toward the village, something, or someone stepped out of the fog. Out of the fog stepped a tall figure wrapped in a black cloak. His face was hidden under a hood, but his eyes glowed the same eerie red as the shadow lurkers. The ground under his feet turned gray, like the life was being sucked out of it. The villagers stopped in their tracks, frozen by fear. "Who is that?" Kai whispered. Myra's voice trembled. "That's not a man. That's a wraith caller. They serve the sea curse and control the fog." The wraith caller raised one bony hand, and the fog grew thicker. People began to cough and stumble, unable to see where they were going. Children cried. Lanterns flickered out one by one. Kai clenched his fists. "We have to do something." But Mira grabbed his arm. "Wait. Look on his other hand." Kai squinted. The wraith caller was holding something small and glowing, a silver seashell, the exact kind Mira had mentioned earlier. "That's not just any shell," Mira said. "It's the shell of echoes. It can steal voices and power from anyone it captures. That's how the sea curse grows stronger. He must have taken it from one of my people." The wraith caller pointed the shell toward the village bell tower. A blast of dark energy shot out and cracked the stone clean in half. The villagers screamed and ran for cover. Kai had enough. "Stay behind me," he said. Before Mira could protest, Kai sprinted through the fog, leaping over barrels and broken carts. He charged straight at the wraith caller, sword raised. But just before he could strike, the wraith caller vanished into smoke. Kai spun around, coughing in the thick air. "Coward!" Suddenly he heard Mira cry out. He turned and saw her being pulled toward the water by dark vines crawling from the ocean. She struggled, throwing glowing magic at them, but they kept coming. Kai raced to her side, slicing at the vines with his sword. "Don't let them take me," Mira yelled. "If I'm dragged under, I'll vanish like the others." "I won't let that happen," Kai shouted. With a final slash, he cut the last vine. Mira fell into his arms, breathing hard. The fog began to pull back, but the village was a mess. Homes damaged, people hurt, and everyone looking around in shock. What was that thing?" one villager whispered. Kai helped Mira stand. "We don't have much time," he said. "He'll be back. And next time, he'll bring more than fog." Mira nodded. "We need to find the lost ruins, the place where the sea curse began. That's where we'll find answers, and maybe a way to stop it." Kai looked at the frightened villagers, then out at the dark, endless sea. "Then we leave at dawn," he said, "before the fog returns." But far beneath the waves, in a deep, forgotten cave, a voice whispered through the darkness, "Let them come." The next morning the village was quiet. Too quiet. The fog had vanished, but a heavy feeling still hung in the air, like the sky was holding its breath. The villagers were scared, whispering about the shadowy figure and the strange girl with the tail. Some thought Mira was a monster. Others thought she was a blessing. Kai didn't care what they thought. He packed his sword, some dried meat, a map, and 2 small water flasks. Then he met Mira at the edge of the beach where the sand met the rocks. She looked tired, but her eyes were focused. "Are you sure you want to do this?" she asked. "Once we leave, there's no turning back." Kai gave a small smile. "If this sea curse wins, nobody will be safe. I'd rather fight than hide." Mira nodded. "Then follow me. The ruins are deep under the sea. But there's a secret path through the cliffs. A tunnel made long ago, before our 2 worlds stopped trusting each other." Together, they walked along the rocky shore until they reached a cave hidden behind a waterfall. The sound of rushing water made it hard to talk, but they didn't need words now. The cave was dark, cold, and filled with old markings carved into the walls. Mira touched one gently. "These symbols are warnings," she said. "They say the sea curse was once a mighty king who wanted to rule both land and sea. When he was defeated, his soul was trapped in the deep mirror, a magical prison. But something, or someone has broken that mirror." Kai frowned. "Maybe the wraith caller?" "Maybe," Mira said, her voice shaking. "Or maybe something even worse." As they walked deeper, the air grew colder. Strange whispers floated through the tunnel, like voices carried by wind. Kai paused. "Did you hear that?" Mira looked nervous. "Yes. The tunnel remembers." Suddenly, the stone floor cracked beneath them. Kai grabbed Myra's hand, but it was too late. They fell into darkness. Splash! They landed in an underground lake. The water was icy, and something brushed against Kai's leg. He froze. "Tell me that was a fish." Mira didn't answer, because rising from the water was a creature unlike any they had seen. A giant ghostly eel with glowing white eyes and fins like blades. Its body shimmered like it was made of water and smoke. Mira gasped. A spirit guardian. They're supposed to protect the ruins. But if it attacks, it means the sea curse has already touched this place. The spirit guardian opened its jaws and spoke. You carry the light of the old alliance. And yet you bring danger. Kai raised his sword. We're here to stop the sea curse, not to hurt anyone. The spirit guardian's eyes narrowed. Then prove it. The water around them began to swirl, forming a whirlpool. The current pulled them toward a glowing doorway beneath the lake. Mira grabbed Kai's hand. This is it. The ruins are below. Hold your breath. Kai took a deep breath. And then they dove. Down, down, down they swam. Past glowing fish, crumbling statues, and old ruins swallowed by time. The water grew warmer, brighter, as if lit by something deep within the earth. Kai could barely see, but he held tight to Myra's hand. She moved quickly, her tail slicing through the water like silver lightning. At last they reached the bottom. There stood a massive stone gate covered in coral and seaweed. Strange runes glowed softly across the surface, pulsing like a heartbeat. Mira touched the center of the gate. This is the entrance to the sunken hall, the place where the sea curse was first locked away. Kai stared at the carvings. Looks like it hasn't been opened in a long time. Mira nodded. We have to be careful. There are traps and guardians. Just then, the runes on the gate lit up brighter. The door rumbled and slowly began to open. But before they could enter, something rushed past them, fast as lightning. A shadow. Mira spun around. Did you see that? Kai gripped his sword. Yeah, but I don't think it saw us. It was heading inside. The gate fully opened, revealing a huge chamber filled with floating lights and pillars that reached up into the darkness. At the very center stood a broken mirror. Sharp pieces scattered around it like frozen raindrops. Mira gasped. That's the deep mirror. It's shattered. Kai stepped forward. So this is where the sea curse was trapped. Yes, Mira whispered. But now the prison is broken, and the sea curse is free. Suddenly the floor shook. The water trembled. A low growl echoed through the hall. From the shadows stepped a creature that looked like it had been formed from nightmares. Part man, part monster, with seaweed hair, jagged coral armor, and eyes like glowing coals. It looked straight at them. So, the creature said in a voice like thunder, the warrior and the mermaid have come at last. Kai raised his sword. Myra's hands lit with magic. But the creature only laughed. You are too late, it said. The deep mirror is broken, and the second piece, the heart of tides, has already been claimed. Myra's eyes widened. No, without the heart of tides, we can't seal the curse again. Kai frowned. Then where is it? The creature smiled, slow and wicked. It's already above in your village. Kai and Mira froze. The heart of tides is in the village? Kai asked. The sea curse creature nodded. Hidden there by your own people long ago. They didn't know what it was, only that it was powerful. Then the creature raised its arms, and the broken mirror behind it began to glow. Soon the curse will rise fully. The sea will drown the land. You cannot stop it. Kai stepped forward. We'll see about that. He grabbed Myra's hand, and together they shot upward, swimming faster than ever. The spirit guardian, watching from the edge of the ruins, gave them one silent nod, then vanished into mist. When they burst from the sea, the village was in chaos. Waves crashed over the shore, and the sky had turned stormy and dark. The bell tower shook. Villagers ran for cover. Mira, Kai yelled over the roar of the wind. Where would the heart be hidden? She closed her eyes, feeling the magic in the air. The old well, near the village square. They raced through the storm, pushing against the wind. When they reached the well, Mira dove inside without hesitation. Seconds later, she floated back up, holding a glowing blue gem, the heart of tides. Just then, a giant wave rose from the ocean, taller than the bell tower. It moved like a beast, ready to crash down and wipe everything away. Kai looked at Mira. What do we do? Myra's voice was calm. Trust me. She held the heart in both hands and began to sing. A song older than the village itself. Her voice rang clear and beautiful, full of sorrow and hope. The gem glowed brighter and brighter, until it shone like the sun. The wave froze in place, then slowly, gently, lowered itself back into the sea. The clouds broke. Sunlight poured through. The sea calmed. The curse was lifted. In the days that followed, the villagers treated Mira like a hero. No one feared her anymore. They brought her flowers, food, even shiny seashells. The chief of the village offered her a place to stay. But every morning, Mira still met Kai at the beach, sitting on the rocks, watching the sea. One day, as the sun rose, Kai turned to her and said, "You could stay forever, you know." Mira smiled. "And leave the ocean behind?" Kai shrugged. "Maybe I'll build a house by the ocean, so you can be close to both." She laughed. "That sounds perfect." And just like that, she leaned in and kissed him, soft and sweet like the breeze. The warrior and the mermaid, once strangers from two worlds, were now something more. This story teaches us that love and bravery can break even the darkest curses. When two hearts come together, no storm is too strong, no sea too deep. Sometimes the strongest magic of all is believing in someone different from yourself.